Hello, good evening, and welcome to this evening's live stream. Crimson is in hysterics, and I don't know why.
You're such a fibber. Oh dear. Oh dear. I said,
All I did was ask her to check my beard for rice, and she creased over because we had a Chinese, and I'm like, have I got any rice in me? And then she's apoplectic, rolling around like a good one.
I know I've got a cold as well now. Now you've set me off. Now you've set me
Oh,
off.
right.
I've got a cold, everyone.
Feel sorry for you. Oh, got a cold. So, good evening and welcome to the live stream.
Hello.
Thank you, folks, for confirming that you can both see and hear. Moog, you are dead right. Beards are great for saving snacks for later, unless they get into a bit that you can't see. It's fine down here because then you can easily sort of lift the snack repository to your mouth. But if they sort of come to here, you can't see it without a webcam. And you can't get to it if you don't know they're there.
It's too late by that point. Everybody can see
it. Yeah. But just check me for rice, and she's gone.
Oh, yeah. You're right, Moog. You're right. I do need to get a bigger beard. Yeah, this is true.
Oh dear, I can hardly see. I think I've got aerial Chinese on my spectacles. Aerial takeaway. So, usual format for this evening. Rambling about today's topic. I'm going to make today's topic up in a minute. Something Imperial Guard. Something previews at the weekend. Something hooray. Then on to questions. Now I know my partner in crime has been mining for questions in Discord and has
yes, Nick, it won't be long. What are we going to do when Paul Fest has been? We need to know when the next one is, Mick.
Shameless plug for Paul Fest 3. Mick the Machine has super chatted.
There is no shame in it at all.
Yeah, Paul Fest 3 for channel members to get together at tabletop events in Belper, throw dice, socialise, have a laugh. The 22nd of October, in a week and a bit. Be there or be somewhere else.
In your Hawaiian shirt.
No, that's not a thing. That will put people off.
No, it is.
It's fancy dress Hawaiian shirts, optional. Silly hats, optional. It's all optional.
Oh, are you not having an Hawaiian shirt then?
That is correct. Well, no, actually, I will wear a palm tree pattern, black palm tree on a black background. Looks a lot like this.
What a letdown.
I am. People say that about me a lot.
What a letdown. And you started so well. What a letdown.
Oh dear. I accidentally pulled silver Coke out the fridge rather than brown Coke or gold Coke. And I didn't want the pain in my knees of going downstairs to change them. So I'm instead going to have no sleep this evening and have the pain in my brain tomorrow. So, I've
got my silly heart ready.
How has
she says
how has the last week gone in hobby terms? I've done half a hobby painting, but I'll finish it till because my parents are visiting and they're coming tomorrow and going home on Sunday morning. So I'll probably finish the hobby vlog on Sunday. I have one battle report in the bank. Batter reps, very difficult to produce at the moment on account of my brain being stupid. I have some plans to try and get some more in as soon as possible to feed the machine. But not a lot in the way of content at the minute. Well, I am getting quite a bit of stuff from G Dubs, which I am managing to put out. Last weekend we had, what did we have? We had the Sons of Bearmat Battletome review. We had the Sylvaneth Battletome review. Not Sylvaneth, Lumineth, different shaped elves. The Lumineth Realm Lords and King Brod. Oh, I love that model. And so I was stuck with what to do on Sunday. Well, Saturday we sat and did hobby stuff together, didn't we? You built a bunch of stuff, and I put together, of all things, I asked the question, should I do the thing that I should do, or should I follow my random muse? And you told me to
follow your muse all the time. I hope you can hear what I'm saying, but follow your muse. I think they can. I think I'm croaking loud enough. Follow your muse. Can you hear me, Mick?
It's tangled up.
Oh my god.
I'm talking about the microphone.
Thank you, Moog. Can rely on Moog. Although I do sound like Kermit the Frog.
Right, there we go. Try now.
I think they can hear me.
Well, they can now because I've moved the microphone closer to you.
Oh,
yes.
I can talk quieter now then.
Yes. So, what did I put together on Saturday?
You put together. Oh, it was fabulous what you put together on. It was the.
It's one word. It's one word.
Yeah.
It's 940 points.
Oh, I can't. Can you remember?
It's your friend and mine, the Supreme Lord of Undeath.
Oh God, yes, it was. Oh, you should have brought that. We could have dandled it in front of us.
Nagash. I mean, it's only in there.
Nagash.
But so yes, built Nagash on Saturday. Then had a major dilemma about what to paint on Sunday. But I erred on the side of what I should paint rather than what I actually wanted to paint. So yeah, Nagash is now a step closer to being done because he is assembled and he's a day-long painting session away from being done. Because I'm gonna get Gotrek Gurnason at some point, and those of you who've listened to Ghoul Slayer and heard the pronunciation of Gotrek saying Nagash to rhyme with Fagash. Can you get me to Nagash? Because I'm going to bury my axe in his bloody forehead. Yes, that is a fight we have to make happen on the channel. Sorry, I just see Moog saying he can't wait to see Nagash get ganked by a Ghoul and a Terrorgeist. I've looked at his stats. It totally could happen. It totally could happen. He is 940 points of could be instantly murdered.
Yeah.
But he's also 930 points of 8 spells a turn that can all be Arcane Bolt and lots of units getting back up all the time and just keep him away from sharp objects or any objects.
Is Moog saying he wants to see it? Is that what he's telling us?
No, what he's saying is from a narrative perspective, Nagash should be able to dominate any and all undead. But from a rules perspective, especially with Immortan Joe's proclivities around bringing Terrorgeists and throwing at the enemy at turn 1 and brutally murdering them in one go, Moog is implying that the Supreme Lord of Undeath will be killed by one of his pets in a turn.
Okay.
And Joe is saying he's now got 2 of them, so increasing the likelihood by a good 50%. So that's
baby Squawk fell asleep. Oh, that's cute.
I have to say, baby squawk, baby squawk,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah. So on Sunday, I started painting something else, and it was one of these things where I sort of thought, right, here's a batch, and I can do the batch in a day. It's a big batch, Paul. There are some complicated models on there. It's like, yeah. It's 2 special characters that have got sub-assemblies. It's 2 normal characters and 5 cavalry. It's 12. It's 10 models. 12 if you count the sub-assemblies. It's going to be fine. I'm like, okay, yeah. Look at the clock. Yes. If you did an hour each on them, yeah, what time would that make it? 1 a.m. But how long do you think they'd take each? 2 or 3 hours. So do you think you should change your plans? No. I'll have them done by the end of the night. Why have I only done 3 coats of paint and my eyelids are sealing up? Have I pronounced this correctly? Hosu Areola, member for 16 months, says, "Hi, Paul," and smiles. Hi.
Hi.
I've taken to, because I've started. So here's a weird thing. So the 2 recent books I have previewed, I've reviewed. The thumbnails haven't been a picture on of the book on the table. It's been a picture of me holding the book up, and I don't know what I make of that. I don't know if that's that's good or if that's bad. But I've started doing it because I've now had to start doing editing on some of my videos. Now, I don't mean changing stuff around, but what I mean is on things like the unboxings and the vlogs and the reviews, because I now have a splash to put at the start, because I don't know if we've discussed this on the channel, but now March of War is the official channel painting studio. Yay! Whoop! Love March of War. I've got their splash to put in my videos at the start as an advertisement. And but that means I can't do them in one edit. So I can't start it and then stop it, because then because what I do with those normally, what I've done with them previously, is I filmed it and then clicked upload to YouTube, but it's just flown away into the distance. Can't do that now because I have to go 10-second intro and insert the thing and then film the rest of it. And the software goes, we know you've only inserted a 10-second clip in what is effectively an hour movie or whatever, but we're still going to spend 3 hours compiling the damn thing. So so I still have to go. I have to do the tappy tap stuff on the things where previously I've just gone single cut, run free, a little video, run free. And because I've done editing on the computer, I've also taken the picture of the book on the computer. I don't know. It's very good. Tell me what you think. If I should go back to the thumbnails of just the book, let me know. Or if an idiot grinning by a book you can't really see on a thumbnail is the way to go. So that's my hobby week. How's your hobby week been?
It's been very spidery. I've done spiders and I am in the middle of a humongous... It's not a spider, it's an
No.
Something like that.
Oh, so close, an arachnarok spider.
I'm getting better. So yeah, it's a massive spider. It's bigger than my hand. So it's one of the biggest things I've built, but I'm building that for you, aren't I? So
yes.
So I'm building it piece by piece, obviously, for painting. So I've the spiders done, and I'm just building the
howdah
top
is
piece.
different.
Yeah. It's got like a little halo full of little strange men on it. So I'm just doing that at the minute, so you can paint it and then put it together.
That was one of my options for Sunday, was to paint the mini spiders that you'd built.
Yeah, and it's
the little ones. I was like,
yeah, it's kind of on the base as well. And I know you've probably all made these, but it was new to me. It stands on its back legs and its front legs go down, so almost like it's pointing downwards, so you can easily see the things on top. So it's like suspended in midair, and you've got to try and make it look natural. So I am doing my best.
Right, you said it's called Norman.
It's called Norman at the minute.
And the pictures, it looks excellent.
Aww. Thanks, Kev. Lemsip is really good, but I don't think we've got any. But
we do.
Do we? Oh,
yeah.
Lemsip's really good.
Do you want a lemsip?
I'll have a lemsip. No, I'll get one in a bit. Don't worry.
Thank you. Because these can all wait. I'll go and make you a lemsip.
No. I don't want you to do
You
that.
can talk to them and then take 2 minutes.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So yes, that's what I've been doing. I've been focused on that. And I did the troll guy holding he was pretty big as well. So who was that? Sorry, you'll have to tell me the name.
The Dankhold Troggoth.
That's it, the Dankhold Troggoth. So I did him as well, and he looks pretty magnificent, doesn't he?
He nearly
won
instructions
in the pack.
He nearly won the What to Paint on Sunday award.
Yeah,
because I watched a whole 40-minute painting video from good old Duncan from years and years ago, and I was like, paint this today, paint this today, paint this today. And then I remember there's a specific model I want to do for a specific thing, was in the other batch of the things that I started doing. So that was where the should won out over the want. But you're building up a lot of my Gloomspite kits at the moment, because that's out of the they're a gap. They're a gap in a narrative I want to run, and I have a small amount of them, but there need to be more. You hear Sisters of Mercy playing in the background whenever I say that word. So yeah, there was lots of undercoating on Saturday as well.
Yeah, there was lots of undercoating going on.
Lots of gargants being undercoated. Gargants, spiders.
Yeah, there were spiders everywhere at one point, because I've done quite a few. So spiders everywhere. Good for Halloween, though.
Randomly, Festius the Leech Lord and 4 Collegiate Arcanum Wizards. Just, okay, and I need to spray this one red. All right, okay. Should probably put that down to say,
yes, that's what I've been doing, and sort of getting together my next project. I've got a box full now, haven't I? So work my way through that. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Do you know, before we start, I've got a couple of questions that are relevant to what we've been talking about. So shall I?
Okay.
Okay, so it's Andy. So he says he's got the Old Giants of Albion and Orc Goblin Giant. Would you say they are usable as man crushers?
I am not familiar with those models, but it sounds like they are old fantasy battle models, and man crushers. If you read the book, the giants come in all shapes and sizes, and the mega gargants are the ones that have kind of grown the most. They're almost in a it's not 100% clear, but I infer from the book they're kind of like orcs in that way. They keep growing, and there's the fact that the model range has huge and little. They all have to go through intermediate stages. So if they're slightly bigger or slightly smaller, they probably work fine, as long as they are not so out of scale as to be shorter than other things. I mean, if there's something if there's something between an ogre and a gargant in terms of size, then they're probably fine. I would say. Yes. Yes, please.
Oh, and Andy also says, what's your opinion on the Imperial Guard stuff?
Okay, we're going to come back to that because I want to talk about the Imperial Guard stuff.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got questions from Discord and everywhere, but I just thought while we were on that bit, we'd come back. Come back to the questions.
So we'll have a few random bits of ramble, and then we'll go on to the Discord stuff.
There's a couple of Discord questions that I must apologise about because I didn't quite catch them. So I missed them. Do you want to do those? Because there are a couple of old questions. Do you want to do those, or do you want to do them all together? I'm happy to do whatever you would like, Sir Paul.
I think. I think.
Yeah, don't dwell on that. Yeah.
Sir Paul. I think if I ramble about stuff that's in my head, then we go to Discord.
You do that.
Okay, so there were reveals from G-Dubs at the weekend. I want to ramble a little bit about some of those, and what the implications are for other things. So I don't think there was any. I don't recall seeing any AOS reveals, which sad panda. So nothing AOS related to talk about. Now there were a couple of things of interest from a 40k perspective. Oh my god, I love those Cadian models. I mean, I look at those and think I've got about 200 Cadians ready to turn into an Imperial Guard force. And I'm like, they are going to look no good stood next to these new, really dynamic ones. They reminded me of Corvus Belli's Ariadna models for Infinity that have got sort of futuristic Earth troops, and they are gorgeous models. And the GW ones just brought me to the same place mentally, and I thought, oh, these look so good. And at the same time, I can't buy 200 of these. Not unless I want to sell a kidney. So, so that's one thing. They've also got some really super cool looking artillery pieces. Now, I didn't read the names of what the artillery pieces were. I liked the fact they're field guns. That's kind of what the heavy weapons teams are meant to be. And okay, that makes them like an intermediate step. But what I hope they've done, but I doubt they've done, is I hope the
Thank you. It's wine gum time. Sorry.
Seamless. I am the poster child of monotasking. Sometimes I even struggle to walk and breathe at the same time.
This is true.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It is. I mean,
sorry, I've thrown you now, haven't I? Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So the thing I'm not a fan of in the current edition of 40k is the Imperial side just getting a whole load of additional random new stuff without any real explanation. They used to do it in a really interesting kind of way. They used to sort of make it a bit of a narrative and say, oh, the STC template for something that's old has been found. And they used to make a bit of a big deal of it. And it happened occasionally. And things started to appear in certain forces. And I liked that. But they've gone to the narrative of, oh, Belisarius Core, he just makes new stuff. Yeah, oh, yeah. Whatever you thought the last 10,000 years of tradition No. And his mad lab thinks of, it's like ding, 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 ding. Oh, yeah. So what I hope they've done, for example, there's a multi-barrel gun with what looks like rotatey type stuff. There's no reason that couldn't be a thud gun. So people who from the second edition, in fact, I think even a little bit later, the thud gun, it was an artillery piece in second ed, and it had a weird template that you needed paper fasteners for, because it had like 4 of them. Go on. Oh, I'm moving the microphone so the wine gums don't make any noise. And you used to roll scatter dice to then see where the next template went. And then you scatter the next template and then the next template. Now, obviously, we're not in a template edition, but there's no reason that couldn't be a thud gun. There's no reason the big las cannon thing couldn't be a rapier destroyer. It's the rate at which brand new stuff gets just thrown in. And this is new. But what happened to the last 10,000 years of dogma and tradition? Sod it! That irks me. So they look really cool, and I hope to see them written in a really cool way. We shall see. But yeah, I'm liking the aesthetic. I think it looks really good. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about in reference to those not releases, what were they? Previews. Oh, come on, Brace just gone into standby mode. Could you Control-Alt-Delete me?
Absolutely reboot.
Okay.
Literally.
Uh-oh. She's actually going to put my shoes on me. You're going to reboot me. So there was an announcement about what looked like a new game. I can't remember what it's called. Some like boarding action, or it wasn't that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Don't Google boarding action. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Depends how you spell board. All right. One moment, callers. Just hum to yourselves.
The other thing that we've been doing this week, we've been preparing to start to play. Oh, I'm rubbish with names of things. Warhammer meets Shadowrun.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Yeah, we've been preparing for that as well. We're going to give that a whirl with a few other friends, aren't we?
Yeah, that's not a channel thing, though.
It's not a channel thing. I just thought I'd share what else we've been doing.
No, that wasn't a chastisement. That was a don't expect stuff to come onto the channel thing.
Oh no! I was just share.
You were going to give that a go.
With my friends.
We were going through the books earlier, weren't we? And you were going, oh, they look cool. That one looks cool.
That's what else we've been doing. I was just ad-libbing while you were.
Yes. Sorry, I wasn't saying you shouldn't have said it. I was just saying, oh no, we're not doing content. Don't think we're doing content, because we're not doing content.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Hang on.
Oh, really?
Come on, Braid. Arcs of Omen. Arcs of Omen. And I looked at it and thought, it's pictures of ships. They're saying it's entirely new. And I thought, oh, what is it? It couldn't be Battlefleet Gothic, could it? Oh, no, it's a 40k supplement. I'm like, okay. So what is it all about? And then I started reading it, and it's saying, it's a separate, it's a supplement with specific ways of playing to do ship boarding actions. And I kind of like that, because I've done a number of battle reports in the past on board ships, and I have a bunch of scenery that's assembled and undercoated, but obviously not painted because it's me. That where I had been intending on using for ship interiors. And it's sort of saying, oh yeah, no vehicles, no big monsters. And I'm like, yeah, that's reasonably cool. I mean, there will be some instances where it is relevant, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And then reading a little more, they were saying, and we've listened to you saying that you don't want any more rules for the core game put into these books. So each of these books will be standalone. It'll be each book in the Arcs of Omen series will be standalone and won't impact the main game. I thought, the Arcs of Omen series? Okay. And then I had a thought, maybe because potentially the last 9th edition codex is Imperial Guard, and it sounds like that's coming out towards the end of this year. Hashtag I don't know. I mean, there's rumor about the World Eaters, although because they gave them their own codex, I suspect they're going to be closer to the start of 10th. But again, what do I know? I don't know anything. I had previously been saying that I think 10th Ed's going to be in the summer. But if there's a series of 9th Ed supplement books coming out, how far off is oh goodness these
you bless you.
How far off is 10th Ed realistically going to be? Sorry, one moment. Yeah, how far off realistically might 10th Ed be? Because would a series of books implies 2, 3, 4, some. Will they release those? Because the hype for 10th, I expect to be months in the run-up. I don't expect, because I think 9th was announced sort of April time and then dropped June, July. I would imagine it's going to be similar with 10th. Does that give them enough time if they're going to do a run of supplements? Or actually, is 10th Ed 40k going to be either significantly later in the year or the following year? I don't know. It made me less certain of my previous assumptions. I was being fairly confident before, but now less so. Let's go to questions.
No, let's just do a little bit more. I'm having computer problems.
You're having computer problems? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd reached the
end
end
of
Discord.
Sorry, I can go to Discord.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so we had a couple of questions that we missed from Squawk. With the new Guard Codex eventually going to arrive this year, what changes would you like to see? And that's from Squawk. I'm the baby. I'm baby Squawk.
What changes would I like to see? I'd like to be able to take multiple officers of different types as characters. I want to be able to, because at the moment in the current edition, you've got the company commander, which is an HQ, and you've got the platoon commander, which is an elite. So unless you want to start taking commissar lords, which narratively they're up here, not your bog standard commissar, or primaris psychers, or tank commanders, or unless you want to, if you want to just be you're in the guard, it's company commander route, and yet, okay, this one's a captain, that's a major. Then you're sort of, okay, well, I also need to have lieutenants because the lieutenants lead the platoons. So your character heavy. Okay, well, why does this platoon have a captain and a major with it? It doesn't make any sense. And then you go back down the rabbit hole of, oh, well, maybe I can find some way of squeezing in a Primaris Psycho into the narrative of this list I'm building. So that I find quite difficult. In fact, the last game, the most recent game of 40k I played was against Gambit, and it was with my Imperial Guard. And the way I got around that was I said, well, let's take the Weird Vein Psychers as well. So the Primaris can be leading the Weird Veins in. It's against Chaos. They can be coming in as reinforcements, flown to the battle line. Yeah, that works. So I would like more flexibility about how I can get the officers or even the commissariat into the lists. So maybe if it was something like, if you take a captain as your HQ, then you can take a chunk of advisors as an HQ. So you can take a commissar, or you can take a priest, or a tech priest, or whatever it might be. Just a better way of getting the obligatory second HQ into the force without having to bend the narrative out of shape. Similarly, I would like a better way of getting platoons into the force without bending the narrative out of shape. So back in the day, a platoon was your basic troop choice, and that created problems in its own right. But you had a platoon structure, and you could take variants of combinations of units in that platoon. So you could take within that platoon, you could take heavy weapon squads, specialist squads. Now, if you try and take those now, they take up your elite slots and they take up your heavy slots. So if you want to have the maximum number of heavy weapons teams, you've got to take a not Vanguard, not Outrider, Spearhead. You've got to take the one with all the heavies, and that means you've got to take another HQ and command points. Now, in my games, I ignore those command points for narrative reasons, but not everyone does that. Most people don't do that, and you've got to find another HQ. And it's not like you could just put a lieutenant with them, because that's not an HQ choice. We had a 2 member for 16 months. I think for Guard, the platoon commander should be an HQ instead of an elite. Yeah, completely agree. There's no follow-up to that. I entirely agree. So I would like to see things. I'd also like, in the narrative of the book, them to talk more about some different platoon types. So, for example, back in the day, you could take between you would take the platoon lieutenant and their command squad, between 2 and 5 infantry squads, up to 3 special weapons squads, up to 5 heavy weapons teams, each team of being a team of 3, so six men in each, and up to 50 conscripts could be attached to a platoon. Now, but it also made a lot of reference in the narrative to circa 50 men. And when I've been thinking about Guard armies, because they're the they're the 40k army I've thought about most recently, and ironically, the one I've got I'm furthest away from actually getting. I've been thinking, right, well, how do I do different types of platoons, and not totally blow all the force orgs and all the model balance on the table. I thought, well, if I work on the basis that every platoon has roughly 50 men in it, 50 fighting persons in it, I go, right, so if I want to take a specialist platoon that's got all the sort of the minesweepers or the building crackers or the flamer units, it's not okay. This platoon can have 3 units of specialists, 3 special weapons teams. They're 6 people each, plus the command team and the lieutenant. That means there's 2 chunks of 12 or 11 in one case. 11 or 12. Either way, they go into 2 chimeras. And then that's 20 men. So 3 infantry squads in chimeras. So, yeah, perfect. Similar thing with the heavy weapon. 2 teams in a chimera. So 2, 2, 1 on the command squad, 3 chimeras, 2 infantry squads to literally shield the heavy weapons. Perfect. So, right, okay, well, what else can I do? Well, then if I'm going for Tauroxes, then it's 5 infantry squads, each in a Taurox, because they can only take 10 men, which means you can't do the doubling up with the 6, the units of 6. So I'd like to see some more about... Wow, I've really gone off on this one, haven't I? I don't... Whoa.
Woo!
Yeah. I'd like
you go,
to
girlfriend. Fantastic.
Yes.
Don't do that again.
Way ahead of you.
It's been a bit of a wild night, hasn't it?
Party on, dudes. Oh, can't open my left eye.
Joe, I tell you what, more unusual things have been happening than that. That was a particularly high and low moment simultaneously then.
I don't think I want to know what Joe wrote.
Never thought you'd see you do a Beyonce.
Do a Beyonce?
No, do it like a Z click.
Z.
Well, Z if you're American.
Yeah, but you're not.
Don't take it out on me just because you've done that on air and you can't take it back.
I can delete the video.
You can't.
I can't.
You can't.
I physically can.
It's not fair.
Oh, but that's not what we just mentioned. That's... It doesn't mean... Fair doesn't mean can't. Shouldn't. But anyway. I'll scrub everyone's brain with brain bleach. No one will remember. So yeah, I'd like to see some more narrative in there about different types of platoon, because it also talks about sort of light infantry, heavy infantry, this, that, and the other. I hope that they because I know they've talked about stormtroopers. I like, because they did away with stormtroopers and turned them into scions and made them just the Schola Progenium rather than a regiment having heavy infantry. I wish I want them to go back on that. I want there to be different types of guard regiments. You can have heavy infantry. You can take stormtroopers to do it, or whatever else they badge them as. I'd like them to talk about the objective differences between mounted either companies or platoons and ones that aren't. Yes. Quickly, let's move on to something else before I talk more about the guard, Because as soon as the Codex comes out, all my hopes and dreams will probably be dashed.
Okay.
Hopes
then.
and dreams. Hopes and
Hopes
dreams.
and dreams.
Dashed.
Don't do the clicky thing again.
I did dashing onto a wall. Pebble dash.
I see.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Right. Okay, then that's fine. Okay. Just while we are talking, William Willis. Can you see William Willis's comment there?
I can't.
William, you can.
Oh,
William Willis. He is. I have to say this because I'm dead impressed. William is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a. I hope I'm saying this right. A systemic vessel. And I think, William, if I'm right, is that a vessel that collects marine specimens? I think it is. That he's on a vessel in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and he's got a comment.
got interwebs.
Yeah. Do you want to read his comment?
I read it. You possibly meant out loud, so I'll do it. On the subject of rank and structure, in addition to sergeant, I paint a vet in each of my 10-man intercessor squads as the corporal. Can then proxy as a sergeant or give combat squad a bit of personality. Yeah, I do the same with my Blood Angels. Done it in the old Blood Angel pattern, which I have not ever changed from, is because Blood Angels are traditionally red on the pad, black on the trim. The Sarge and the unit champion would be the other way around. Red on the pad, black on the trim.
Okay. So one of the questions from Discord as well is from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Nyan Hellcat. I hope I'm saying it right. So to sort of piggyback on Squawk's question from earlier with the blooded kill team box being a traitor guardsman and the veteran guardsman being Krieg.
Yeah.
Do you think they might bring back some of the other regiments using kill team?
Maybe. I mean, it's a place to bring them back, right? I mean, they have to do. Maybe they're making Kill Team a little bit more like Warcry. So Warcry in AOS is you buy a box of your team. It's all shiny new models that are made specifically for Warcry, but you can use them in AOS rather than it just being pick some AOS models and do a Warcry team. You can do that, but they do have specific things made for Warcry. It would make sense that armies or forces that they don't want to do a full release of, or possibly even just test the water on, like old guard regiments, it's conceivable they'll use that kind of model to bring them back in. Here's a set, let's see how it sells. They sort of did a vague test the water of that back in the day when they released I want to say Overkill. I don't know if it was called Overkill. They did a boxed game with Genestealer Cults and Deathwatch, neither of which had been mainstream release units. The Genestealer Cult had been, last time it had been, was in a second ed, and Deathwatch, they were in one of the books, and they had just like add-on. You could buy a shoulder pad pack to convert them. So they weren't a mainstream thing. They released a boxed set, a boxed game with the two forces in, and everyone went nuts for them. Then within a year, boom, 2 new armies. So it's not inconceivable that G-Dubs would test the water with that kind of thing. What I also hope they do is they design the basic guard kits in such a way that modular upgrades can be put on top of them to give them a different aesthetic.
Oh,
the Great Rift.
Cool.
I remember
cool.
I remember the Great Rift. I remember looking at it on thingies and going, that is a huge trench. But
so I weren't really right then, were I?
Pretty close.
Well, not far off.
I didn't do much oceanography in my degree because it was a marine biology degree, but some of the oceanography was really interesting. It was the chemical oceanography that killed off my interest in it. But yeah, the seabed, really cool places.
How many of you are on the boat? How many of you are on the vessel? Sorry. I'm only being nosy now. I just really I was going to say how many seamen, but I thought probably not. How many of you are on the boat? And whilst you're coming back to me, William Willis, I've got a question from Sorcerer Dave. Thoughts on the new Imperial Guard Castellan and where he ought to fit into the chain of command, please.
So, the new Imperial Guard Castellan, from what I've read, is a character who walks up and down on his own amongst the troops and gives orders. Kind of like a cross between a commissar and a company commander. To me, that screams platoon commander. Because in most of the books, the platoons don't always have command squads. Often the lieutenant will adopt one of the squads as their primary squad to hang around with. If they make a distinction between field level command, your company commanders, and squad level command, your Castellan, I would have the Castellan basically as being your platoon commander, your lieutenant, giving out orders on the ground, whereas your general, your whoever, whether it's a major or a colonel or whoever it is, being further back and doing more big picture stuff rather than saying shoot at that, shoot at this, shoot better, because you have to keep a lot of you. Obviously, depends on what the rules are in the 9th Ed book going forward, but you have to keep all your units close to your company commander, which means the person who's meant to be at the back directing stuff off the Vox from relative safely in a lot of the regiments. Obviously, there are exceptions, Gaunt's Ghosts. Then you have to play them in a way that you don't necessarily want to. So I would draw a distinction between those two, and I hope the Castellan is effectively I hope there's narrative scope for that to be the lieutenant for platoons.
Are you doing the finger clicking now?
No,
what is wrong with you?
I did the thing. I was trying to dry my fingernails.
Okay. And moving on. Hill 42. Should I start a dark mech army based on the tease of a dark mech character? Or wait.
On the what of a dark mech character?
It says tease.
On the tease of a dark mech character?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes. Sorry,
on the tease.
My brain didn't translate.
Oh, sorry. It should be clear.
No, I heard it. I just...
Just answer it then.
I'm trying. If you stop talking at me, I might. So... short answer, yes. I mean, it's clearly some kind of Dark Mechanicus character. Whether it's the prelude to a force, I don't know. We can only hope. It certainly appears to be quite demonic, so it may be more akin to an obliterator in so much as it's machine and demon and person. Looks fun though. I don't know if I'd base a whole army on that, but it's tempting. I mean, the stuff they could do for a Dark Mechanicus army. I mean, if you look at the some of the Chaos Cultists they've done recently with their sort of mutation models, There's some seriously nice sculpts there. They could do some really nice things for Dark Mechanicus, and I hope they do. But I want a Traitor Guard army. I want a Chaos Cults army. I want that first. Hit me.
Oh, don't tell me. Sir Hammerlot, which I've not seen tonight. He's not said hello or anything. So great. Watch Arcs of Omen to Space Hulk style games in 40k, 500 points. Would it be something to entice you back towards the 40k scene?
Would it entice me back to the 40k scene? Don't know. So that was interesting what you said there. No vehicles, no things, and 500 points. Yeah. Well, back in 4th ed, I don't know why I'm holding this block of post-its. Back in 4th ed, back in 4th ed, there was a game type called Combat Patrol, and it had its own little rule subset, and it had its own little rule Come on. It had its own little rule subset, and there were significant restrictions on what you could actually take. You could only take characters with 2 wounds, which represented your low tier characters at the time. You could only take vehicles with very low armor ratings, which basically meant light vehicles and transports. And you couldn't take anything that had a 2-up save. So it was a very it made for a very different game. It made for different tactical decisions, much less big bada boom. The units you ended up taking were much lower powered, and infantry played a much bigger part of it. I like that kind of play, so it will be quite interesting to see what they do. Entice me back. I've not left. I'm playing other things out of preference at the moment. That doesn't mean I've abandoned 40k. I think it would take an awful lot for me to abandon 40k. But I'm feeling much more love for AOS at the moment. That's all.
Next we were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
You were.
So GDL Walker says, what's your next scenery purchase going to be? Nothing that we have to buy and be delivered. You can't get through the door downstairs. So something that you've already got.
Purchase, I believe, was the word.
I know, yes.
Probably
There's no room. There is no room.
Probably a Loon Shrine. Because
What's that?
It's, you've been building spiders and things for me, and you've got some goblins and things.
Yeah.
So the Loon Shrine is where they carve a shrine to the bad moon and start to live in it.
Oh.
It's a big... I mean, to be fair, you've seen the model before and gone, oh, I don't like that. So it's probably not one you're very keen on. But yeah, I mean, the story with it is it's when the bad moon gets to a certain height, it meteors of the bad moon fall to Earth, and then where they land, the grots, the Gloomspite Gits, start to carve it into an edifice of the bad moon, and then they live in it. And it lets you basically the idea is that Gloomspite.
Oh, great. Says Moog.
They're constantly just pouring out of it. So when an goblin unit dies,
yes, yeah,
you take them off and they come back on.
I get that now. Yes, I understand. Have we already got that?
No, that's what the question was a new purchase. So it's just I just haven't bought it yet. Is all. It's been in the cart a number of times, and then I've seen the total and gone, ooh, and then I've triaged and gone, okay, we can get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that one. They can wait. And just get this lot. I can cope with that.
Okay. Oh, greetings from Germany.
Hello.
Hello. What's German for hello?
Guten Tag.
Is it?
That's good evening, I think.
Oh, well, that's good then. Guten Tag. Good evening. Yeah.
I think.
Hello. There you go.
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Joe,
Okay.
if you're telling us to say something really rude. Oh, no. Good evening.
Okay, that's beyond my ken.
I'm mine, but
I never actually learnt German at school, so it's not that I learned French and did a year of Spanish. Never had the opportunity of learning German, so
What does that mean? Anyway, right. We'll wait for that answer. So, Joe, Immortan Joe says, why are fine cast Vespid such horrible models to build?
They just are.
They just are.
They are so bad. When I was building up my Taupots, I have actually got some Vespid. I specifically only looked for the metal ones.
So if you ever say to me, Crimson, build me some
fine cast Vespid, no, I won't. I don't own any. No, they're horrible.
They're horrible.
I set up an auto rule on eBay to look for metal ones until I had the amount I wanted, and then I looked no more. What we got?
Joe also said, have we done this one? The unique battalions like AOS would be amazing for guard infantry platoon. Could be a specific force org.
I think he's written that in response to what I was saying earlier.
Sorry, Joe.
So yeah, I think Joe was saying there is a mechanic in 40k where particular formations can be used to take certain units. And I think what Joe was saying is that could be an effective way of getting guard onto the tabletop without having to flange the core mechanic.
Oh, I see.
Who knows if they will or not? Probably not.
William Willis keeps trying to type a message and it keeps disappearing. So
maybe it's not making it quite the way out the Atlantic.
It's not quite making it out there. Oh, where we go. New purchase. Can you see it?
New purchase, the extra energy standing charge.
That might be something to do with what he's doing. He's logging on us.
The extra energy standing charge. I'm very sorry, William. I don't understand the question.
If you want to put it on Discord, pop it on Discord. I'll see it there. If you've got a better phone signal, I don't know. See it there.
Should we go to? Is there anything else on Discord? Or
I will just double check. I don't think so, unless somebody's just put something on in the last 30 seconds. No, there isn't. But I'll watch out just in case William's sending anything through there. No, we just wanted to go back to what's your opinion on the Imperial Guard stuff that you said to go back to. I think
we've kind of covered it, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
I don't think so. I think No, I think I've tipped my brain out, and it's all fallen out, and the stuff that stayed in is going nowhere.
I'm with you there, Moog. I'm surprised anyone can afford any plastic these days, which is a bit sad, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will refrain from getting started because I always like to try and avoid politics on these.
Yeah. You missed my question. Oh, Kev. What was your question? But put your question in there again. Pop it in. Yeah, I thought I'd covered everything in Discord, but I'll have another check. Pop your question in again, Kev. It might have been when my computer had a brain moment.
AAA, I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Guess question. I'm looking for it, Kev. I'm looking for it. Are you typing it again? Don't want to miss it. Is that Kev?
What will it take for Paul to play 40k again?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Well, it's not, like I said, I think this is where you said I'd answered it. It's not that I don't play it, it's that I'm preferring other things at the moment. The thing, it shouldn't be so much hard work to have fun. You've got to work around the rule set to have fun. You've got to interpret the codex to have fun. You've got to suspend your disbelief around the stats that they've given to weapons that shouldn't, that make them that don't correspond to their description in the narrative. It's effort to have fun with 40k, I find at the minute, which is sad. I don't find it's effort to have fun with AOS. I can just pick that up and play it and love it. So I'm playing more AOS at the moment. I know that's not as popular with everyone, and that gets lower views, and I know yeah, but gotta follow my muse.
Okay, so there's just been a really, really good question in there. Really good question that I've just seen. Jack Van Hom says, I love the channel. What's your favourite scary movie? What's your favourite?
Well,
I didn't say he wants to know my favourite. He just wants to know your favourite. But what is your favourite?
Well, I want to know yours.
Go on. What's everyone else's, by the way? Start putting them in the chat.
Depends whether it's films that are supposed to be scary or just horror films or films that I actually find scary, because films that I find scary, I don't watch because I don't like the sensation of being scared. That's not why I watch. That's not what I spend my leisure time. What I want to spend my leisure time doing. I want to spend my leisure time on other things.
Murph says
Event Horizon. That is a very good film.
Is it scary? Would I be scared?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was terrified when I was 15. All right.
Kev, I love Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka. I love Willy Wonka.
I mean, the film that horrifies me most is probably Mamma Mia, so that's probably a good pick.
Mamma
Mia! William Wells' Mamma Mia 2 was pretty terrifying. Yep.
Well, I'm not very impressed with that, actually.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about sort of films that are meant to be scary or are set at Halloween, if it's set at Halloween, it has to be The Crow. That's one of my 6 favorite movies of all time, and I've seen it probably over 100 times, and it is set at Halloween. So yeah, The Crow.
Scream. I don't like Scream. I don't like the Scream mask. Can they see that?
Well, it seems to suggest it's in front of you. You tell me if you can see it.
I didn't know whether they could see the crow, though. That's the thing.
Well, can you see it on your screen?
No.
Okay, then they can't.
So,
well, yeah, you can. It's right there.
Yeah, but not really.
I can see it on your screen. I can't see this. Yes, I can see that. No, yeah, it can be seen.
Oh, we see him, Joe. Thank you. Joe says we see him, so that's good.
So go on then. What was yours?
Got anything with zombies in?
But you don't actually watch them, though.
Yeah, but I watched Shaun of the Dead.
You never told me that.
And I was petrified.
When did you watch that?
When it first came out.
Oh.
I was absolutely petrified. And it's nothing to do with the story or anything like that. It's the zombies' eyes. They do it. I can't. I'm scared. I don't like it. And it's definitely not Mamma Mia 1 or 2. You two.
I find those pretty harrowing, to be quite honest.
I would say you find any chick flick or something that makes normal people cry with a heart you find scary. It's true. It is so true.
Generally, they just make me want to peel my eyes. 28 Days Later was splendid.
28 Days Later.
Very, very good film. Don't watch it.
Zombies in it?
Technically, no, they're not actually dead. But they, to all intents and purposes, they are zombies. That was
what was yours, Jack?
Pretty terrifying film.
What was your favourite, Jack? 28 Days Later made me so happy. Chris, seriously. Oh, Infected.
Yeah, it was a virus. They didn't die. They just went absolutely batcrap crazy.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I didn't see Jack's, did you?
A little bit like, no, I didn't. A little bit like The Crazies, which technically is not a zombie film because they don't actually die and turn into zombies. They just become crazy.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, well, I think we are drawing to a close.
Yeah, me too.
Could we do the thank you? Well, I'm going to start the thank yous. Thank you to Crimson for keeping me on track, keeping me fed with questions, and doing all the amazing admin and chats and stuff. Wouldn't be able to do this without you.
Oh, thanks. We got a super chat from Mick the Machine. As always, love him, Mick. Love him.
Thanks, Mick.
Thank you. And thanks for all your questions as well. I did put a bit of a shout out earlier on the live stream. I never know what to call it, room, whatever it's called. I did put it in there. So thank you for all your questions and comments and things. We had a 24 months channel member comment from Kev. And also from... Who else was that? Oh, no, wait a minute. No, we didn't. Oh, I'm on last week. You see, Annie, I'm going to get a sack.
And you normally tear the pages out as well.
Yeah, somebody messes with my book. Is that Jesus Ariola? I hope I'm saying that right.
I'm not sure.
Jesus, 16-month membership, and Aaron also 16 months membership. Thank you very much for your comments. Good luck for tomorrow to William Willis. I'm obsessed with this now. He's in the sea, and tomorrow
he's on the sea.
Well, you're saying that is on the sea, but tomorrow is going down to 2 kilometers depth with 4 other people in a shoebox, his own subsea dreadnought.
Now, if you can take a mini and some paint and a brush with you, you would probably be painting the lowest model ever. I mean, you might crash the sub and all die, but you get that record.
No, it would get the record. No. You see, if anything happens to him now, you're going to be gutted.
But be safe.
Yeah, and be very safe. And good luck. And if we don't see you next week, please put a comment on Discord just to let us know you're all right. But no, thanks. Seriously, thanks for.
Of Nolan oil.
Floating. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's getting worse. I don't know which is worse. Quiet, say hi, Paul, or mental, say hi, Paul.
Quiet's worse. Quiet's much worse.
Oh, Mr. God wants to be the next person to go to the moon just to try and paint his face. We are all brainwashed.
You know, put your pot on Nolan oil and it'll float away. Like, get back in the pot.
You'd have to have one of them with a hole in that sucks your brush out.
Well, quite.
So you did.
On that note, let's draw to a close.
Paul Fest 3.
Paul Fest 3, be there or be somewhere else.
And what is it? Hawaiian shirts.
Well, if you want to, optional.
It's not.
It is optional.
It's not. It's
Hawaiian
shirts. It's Hawaiian shirts or a crazy hat.
Or none of the above.
No.
Whatever. Yes.
You've got a hat.
What I'm wearing is immaterial. What other people want to do is entirely up to them. It is an optional thing. And that is my final word.
Free cake for anyone with a hat.
I have spoken. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone's ongoing support. Thank you for channel members and Patreons. And again,
optional.
And again, thank you, Mick. Optional. And again, thank you to Crimson for keeping me on track. See you in the next one, folks. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.